Good morning, friends. Happy Saturday. Uh, the girls are on a sleepover with my dad, so it's a non-kid John's Comics without kids this morning. But I got some comics I've been reading. I got some things I got in the mail, and some shows that I've been watching, and some stuff coming up on the channel. So some fun things to talk about with y'all this morning, and lots of great phone like homies in the chat. What's going on? Just got out of bed. Ryan, what is it? It's almost noon. It's almost noon over there. I appreciate you singing the theme song, even though the girls aren't here. I appreciate that. Perry, uh, I'm wearing my old wolf shirt because last night Perry was on Tony's channel until 4 a.m. Some late night shenanigans over on the old wolf channel. I had to actually get out of bed, log into Tony's channel, and end the stream for him. It got so out of control. For those that don't know, Old Wolf gave me the complete control to his YouTube channel and his StreamYard for a charity event, which means now and forever after, I can just control everything on Tony's channel. So if you want to see it cut short, you can watch the last minute of his stream last night and see me jump on and cut it out and then end. And he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. I need some coffee as well. Yeah, I could use some coffee this morning. What's up, Eric? Listening while delivering mail. Thank you, sir. I hope you're safe out there. I know that people drive like morons sometimes, so stay safe, sir. What is up, Paul? We got Big O in the chat. Good morning to you. Happy Saturday. We got Sarah. What's going on, Sarah? Good to see you. Happy Saturday. I'm sorry the girls aren't here. They're with their cousins at my dad's house, so a sleepover. 4 grandkids last night. Yeah, all 4 together at Pop Pop's house. So I hope he's doing okay this morning. We'll have to check in on Pop Pop later. In fact, he's in the chat. What's up, Digger Jim? He dropped a video on a classic Bronze Age story called Contest of Champions, I think. I really need to read this. It sounds very much in the Secret Wars vein of stuff I would probably really enjoy. The cat is running around this morning. She's so far ruined 2 screens. She figured out how to knock a screen or break the screen and get out. And now it's like her favorite thing to do is to go around and try to figure out how to push the screens out and get out of the house. So she's figuring these things out. There's Pop Pop himself. He is awake. He says they're not here. They are not there. They're watching. Oh, goodness. Hopefully they've got something more entertaining than me going on this morning. So yeah, I just noticed this morning on your show, you've got a nice 7.0 copy of this book, Jim. And I just got my first copy of that. The first time Beast is in the beast mode, furry Beast. So that's a great issue. And that's issue 11 of Amazing Adventures. Issue 15, for those that are into it, that's when he goes blue, the blue furry beast. So I still need to hunt that one down. I'm watching for that one. What is going on, Rod? Just a weekend. I know he's in the Florida heat right now, but he loves it. He loves that Florida heat. So enjoy that, sir. Ian, Tacoma Comics. What's going on, Ian? He's doing the elliptical. Good on you, sir. Good on you. I appreciate you taking good care of yourself. So I got a pile of comics I can discuss and review, but I'm going to hit up first with something cool that arrived a little while back, and I never got around to sharing it. So I don't do a lot of Kickstarters, and I know some people are really into it and they really love it, and I'm just sort of dabbling in that world. But the one that got me, the one that hooked me, was when they announced that they would be making the role-play game for Die. So Die is a comic book centered around a role-play game, kind of in the Jumanji mentality where it pulls you into a real world and you have to be stuck there living the game. But instead of being kind of a comedy, this was definitely more of a dramatic story. And I love the series. Amazing, amazing read. And so when they announced that the creators of the comic, Kieran Gillen and Stephanie Hans, would be making the game, the role-play game, check the box. I kickstarted that. I definitely jumped in on that. So here's some of the stuff that I got now that it all paid off. So this was the little sleeve that gives you all the info for the set. Amazing art all through it because Stephanie Hans is a beast. She's just amazingly talented. And one of my favorite things about Die, of course, is the look and the covers and the artwork that went with it. What is going on? Chet Scotland in the chat. Good to see you, sir. There is an X-Men omnibus right there, but it's the new X-Men omnibus. So here we go. So this is the Dungeon Master's screen, the one that they could hide their dice behind, right, while they play the game. And it's got the hands on either side, right? 1 through 20, a 20-sided die. Do you get a success or a failure? You can hide behind the die. On this side, it gives you the information that you would need to play, things about your adversaries, things about tropes to subvert, omens of doom. So it's just a ton of information you can utilize while you're playing. The principles of the game, questions to ask the personas, right? So this is for the Dungeon Master. Very cool. Very cool. And I'm going to try to slip the sleeve back on it because I want to keep this thing looking as nice as possible. Although I want to play it at some point. I got to find some people that got into it the same way I did and would be interested in playing. Right? I'm going to rip that. Nope, don't rip it, John. Come on now. Oh, can I? There we go. Got it. Safe and sound. Then there was a set of dice that came in this sort of, I thought it was magnetic case. So you could get a set of dice. If you don't know, there it is. The dice holder should be shaped to each individual die. Yeah. So, there you go. Paul's in. So the lid comes off and then the dice are inside. And each character in the game has a die that suits their persona. And if they roll a success, it's got the die on it. If they roll any other number, like a 1, a 2, a 4, a 3, the 6, obviously on the 6-sided die would show that die. Just like a 20-sided die, if you rolled the 20, you'd see the die itself right on there instead of a 2 or an 18 or what have you. But really a cool set of dice. See, those are all in circles. Yes, they're in each one sits in a circle, right? And then there you go. So a set of dice to go with the game. And then, of course, the big piece of this is the actual guide to the game itself with the incredible art of Stephanie Hans all the way through it. Even a short comic book edition at the beginning. So there's a little comic book that goes at the start that includes some story elements for the players, but then it gets right into the game and all the rules and the minutia and how it works and what you need to do to get started and how all the terminology and So I've only just barely scratched the surface of this. Really just been excited that it even exists, that they took the time to make something so complicated, because this is massive. The thought that went into this is absolutely incredible. And I just was happy to support the creators of Die in their other endeavors beyond that comic book series, because the book was amazing. I really loved the book. And it was a visual treat and a world unlike any other I'd read in comics. So this was just the next layer in that process for me. What is up, Miss So? Good morning to you. I was just sharing some of your posts with my wife the other day. We were just laughing because you curate really quality memes, and obviously some hit the emotional feels too. But we were very entertained and enjoying your work. So thank you for that. It was a fun hangout with the two of us. We didn't have kids last night, so we were doing what we call memeing, which is like, sharing fun memes that we found across the Instagram world. And that's a fun thing to do when you don't have the kids around, and you can, the memes can be as ribald as they want to be. All right. So that's the Die Kickstarter pack that I got. And I'm very excited to at some point dive into that once I understand how to play well enough to be able to do it. Or maybe part of the fun is learning while you're going along. It could be a lot of fun. So very happy that that Kickstarter went off well and that there were enough people. And apparently the number of people that wanted it were massive. So I think they're still shipping internationally, but they've taken care of Europe and the US and Canada, I think, have all been shipped. But beyond that, they're still shipping things out. It looks well groomed. Looking like Leland. Not ready for that comparison yet. Not ready for that. What is up, Bobby De La Ghetto? Good morning to you, sir. Cheers to you. Happy coffee time. I hope you're enjoying a tasty morning beverage. So that was something that I purchased recently and I've been enjoying. I don't think Chris is probably going to be awake this morning. We'll see. But he did send me something. So if you don't know Lost in Comics, Chris, he's a Texas friend who does great content on his YouTube channel, always centered around new books, talented creator interviews, reviews, what's coming up. So he is always right on with what's happening at your comic shop right now. So if you're looking for a YouTuber who is doing work on current comics, indies, especially indie comics, and creators, talking to writers, talking to artists, you need to be watching Lost in Comics. I put his link down below to his YouTube channel. He's been a friend for a really long time. We've chat a bunch. I love his take on comics. I'm always trying to find indies, and he's definitely somebody that helps me find those good independent comics. But he messaged me the other day. He's like, "Hey, can I send you something? I got something." And I was like, I mean, sure. Yeah, why not? So this arrived the other day. It looked like it's had a bit of a tumultuous journey. It took a couple of dents, but I don't know. I just cut the top and then set it here so that I didn't make too much noise later, but I'm sure I'm going to make a ton. So let's see what Chris sent me. All right. Oh, there's a note on top. I'll try to get the note out. Okay. So he wrote me a little note here. It says, "I saw the Ted Lasso game, and I just had a feeling that you could put it to good use. Here's some other comics that may or may not interest you. I hope you enjoy. I wish I had more time to spend with good people like yourself. Since I started the YouTube journey, you've always been such a positive influence on me and many others. I have the utmost respect for you. You're my hero." Chris. Oh, man, Chris, this sounds amazing. It's a Ted Lasso party game. So now I've got 2 role-playing games or 2 board games I got to play. This is amazing. Let's see. Ted Lasso knows how to rally his team. Now you can join the coaching staff and show that you believe in believe. Choose how to help your friends and footballers. If you ever get stuck, just break out the biscuits. This feel-good party game is all about having fun the Lasso way. That's hilarious. And I'm gonna open this. This is hilarious. It's funny because my brother just gave me these the other day. I was gonna share these. My brother works for this company, Stance. They make socks and underwear and other kinds of things. Very high end stuff. But they have a lot of great comic characters, TV characters that they endorse, and so they got the Ted Lasso rights, and they've got Ted Lasso socks. So now I got the Ted Lasso socks. I got the Ted Lasso game. It's all happening. Let me figure out how to. I did not bring my little blade in here, but I think I got some scissors. Yep, this is the benefit of being right where my daughters do their arts and crafts. Is I got scissors lying around. All right, let's see if I can cut this open here. Oh my goodness. If you guys haven't watched Ted Lasso, number 1, I highly recommend it. Number 2, I'm going to be starting up some live streams here soon, discussing the show, breaking down all the awesome things about it and why it's such a meaningful series. So definitely a fan. Whoop. Look at even the inside of the box has great details on it. Look at that. I love it. All the characters around the outside. Okay, so I got the rule book. I got another rule book I got to learn. This is like the theme is role play. I didn't realize role play games is the theme. Board games. There's a little playing mat. Oops, sorry, other way. And football is life. There's the football. And looks like the little happy, emotional faces, all the different emotions we got going here. Beard is awesome. I agree, Jim. I agree. Beard is awesome. And it looks like I've got so different locations. The pitch, Crown and Anchor, the pub. So there's different, like Rebecca's office, coach's office, the locker room. So I got locations. This feels a little like Clue in some way. I don't know. I got some Believe cards. I got a 20-sided die that's looking like a football, soccer ball. I got character cards. I got some different character cards going on here. And then look, there's even a little biscuit box. So you got, for those that don't know on the show, they have cookies in the little pink biscuit box here. So there's a biscuit box, referee cards. Oh, look, little Ted and Beard, little standees of Ted and Beard. And then there's reference cards at the bottom that look like they're attached. Oh no, I can get them. Little cards to reference certain things in the game. This is cool, dude. I did not have this, Chris. Thank you so much, man. I'm gonna have to take this on the little trip the girls and I are going on coming up here and test drive Ted Lasso. This looks like it won't take me as much time to learn this as the die board game would take me to learn. So I could probably learn this in an afternoon versus I might still be learning how to play die next year. So just be ready for that. Chris, that was awesome, man. Way too nice of you. And there's still stuff in the box. He said there were some comics and things in here. Yes. Firstly, I definitely needed some Lost in Comics stickers. So he hooked me up with some stickers. Definitely a big fan of sticker swaps. So if you want a sticker swap, you hit me up. He's got some business cards made up. Look at this guy. He's showing off, man. He's a businessman. He's already ready. And then there's some packaged comics, well packaged in here. So I don't want to crush anything. Ooh. Oh my gosh, no way. He's even got his own poster like for Lost in Comics movie. Look at the Oscars on there, David's on there. That's Chris as well in disguise. I love this. This is so freaking cool, dude. Oh my gosh. This was for, I remember this. This is for their 100th episode when they had their 100th episode of Lost in Comics Live. So good. Chris, that's freaking cool, man. Oh, and so I haven't read Al Ewing's Fury, issue number 1. Have to dive into that. And the new Flash. When did this start up? It's a collected edition. I heard about this, the 1 Minute War. I heard that this was great, the 1 Minute War. So this is awesome. I definitely wanted to read this Flash story, the 1 Minute War. I heard great things about this. Several people mentioned that. I do need to read that. A Boom Studios book I have not read called The Neighbors. Again, if you guys have read any of these, you let me know. I have not read that one. Looks exciting. I did read Oswald's Body. I have the trade paperback right over there. This was a really good read. I did not expect what it ended up being. The twists and turns. Regarding the matter of Oswald's Body, a conspiracy, JFK murder, assassination storyline. If you liked, what was the Stephen King 11? The date that Kennedy was assassinated. Like, it's just the date that Stephen King wrote a novel about traveling back to try to stop the Kennedy assassination. I think if you enjoyed that book, you'd probably enjoy this series as well, this comic book series regarding the matter of Oswald's Body. And then Spawn, a signed one. Sean Lewis signed the signature of Sean Lewis here on King Spawn issue 1. Let's see there it is at the bottom right there. Look at that, dude. With the COA on the back. Chris hooked me up, man. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate you, brother. That is really, really kind of you. And again, if you guys don't know Chris from Lost in Comics, I included his link down below, but if you could even just search Lost in Comics and you'd find his channel right away. Again, a lot of great new comic book live streams, edited videos, and he always breaks down. My favorite video, Chris, is each week is his top 3, where he picks his 3 favorite comics he read that week. He tells you why. He gives them a scale on the Jabroni scale. So shout out to Edwin, the comic Jabroni, our lost friend. He always includes how many jabronis he would give it, and you hear Edwin shout out a comment for each one. And then at the end, he gives some honorable mentions. So you get a handful of comics that came out that week, and you can hear a little bit about why you might enjoy them. Stu is in the chat. What's going on, Dr. Doom's fan club? Hope everybody's doing well this morning. I hope you're doing well this morning. And we got Bronze Page. What's going on, Terry? He says, good morning, John, Kate, and Charlie. Just John today. Kate and Charlie were in the chat at one point with my dad watching, but they're all with Pop this morning. Yes, Comic Jabroni Nation for sure. And I love the green hearts. That just shows you how Sarah knows the value of those green hearts. I appreciate that, Sarah. So Chris, I'm going to add your stickers to my my store folios. Thank you for sending those as well. And man, I don't even know what to say about all that. That was awesome, man. Huge thank you to Chris. And I'm sorry it took me so long to open it. We had the volleyball tournament for Kate last weekend. It was basically 4 days straight of volleyball until like 11 o'clock at night. We were getting home, and we were just beat. I was not going to make her get up on Saturday. So rough overall. What is up, Greg? I got a great phone call from Greg last night because he was on Old Wolf's 4-hour late night stream, and we were heckling Tony in the chat. Very entertaining. Greg and I were having a lot of good fun at Old Wolf's expense. If you watched the live stream, I don't know that you would want to watch all 4 hours, but you watch the last hour, you can see Greg texting me all through it. And then I started texting Perry and Kevin, who are also on the show. But every time Tony called me, I just wouldn't answer. Very entertaining way to have fun with your friend. Pop is saying they're making egg sandwiches this morning. Egg McPop-Pops. That's awesome. That sounds good. That sounds really yum. That sounds fantastic, actually. Let's see. I am a Green Lantern fan. You got it. You know it. So I got Sinestro hiding right over here. And then, of course, John Stewart, my favorite Green Lantern. And then I got Guy Gardner as well. I have, Jessica Cruz and Kilowog and Kyle Rayner, Joe Mullen. I've got most of the modern Green Lanterns. Don't have Hal yet, and I don't know if I'm going to get to Alan Scott, any of those guys, but definitely good stuff. Working my way. The next one on my list is actually Green Lantern 9, which would be the second appearance of Sinestro and his first time on the cover of a comic. So that one's on my list. I did recently get Star Sapphire's first appearance, which is issue 16, I believe. Which comes just a little bit later than this one. So yeah, Green Lantern fan for sure. I can enjoy Hal, but he can be a bit much. John Stewart's my guy. Bobby says, I was in that stream for 4 hours, Tony trying to call you and Australia. He couldn't figure out how to dial international. It was very entertaining. Always want. Mimosas and hash browns. I know that Pop-Up also does a mean Bloody Mary. Also nice, if it's got tomato juice, you can have it for breakfast, right? That's how that works. I think that's how it works. Always a good breakfast at Pop-Pop's house. Okay, so did my unboxing. Oh, I think we're on to what we're reading lately, and I'm gonna focus on this giant omnibus. So I am working on reading basically an issue a day from Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely's new X-Men run from the early 2000s. 2001 is when they got started. It's considered one of the most important modern X-Men runs. Whether people love it or are frustrated by it, it's just kind of seminal to X-Men and certainly led into what Hickman's kind of doing a lot of today. So for me, I wanted to read this for the very first time. It was a period when I wasn't reading as many comics, and I certainly wasn't reading X-Men books in the early 2000s. So I've been waiting for them to put it into one omnibus, the entire thing. And now I'm working my way through by reading about an issue a day. And I'm trying to make YouTube shorts and Instagram reels sort of covering what happens as I'm going along. So you can always check in on my reels and my shorts wherever you're following me. Like I just posted one yesterday. I think, either Thursday or Friday. I posted one on how in these first 5 issues, there's a ton of new characters. And I made my thumbnail using one of them, a character named Zorn, comes in right at the beginning of this series. Very interesting character who I know a little bit about because I've read X-Men since this. And they highlight just what a journey this character Zorn goes on in the comics. So I do know some of the spoilery stuff, but obviously it's a long ways off in the books here. I'll have to earn that reveal, but there he is. That's Zorn locked away in this chamber. The Chinese government has captured Zorn and locked him up. So Zorn, and then John Bishop is this devious businessman trying to harvest mutant powers. And then we've of course got Cassandra Cain right off the bat, who we learn not too long from now is somehow related to Charles Xavier and has taken over his body. So that's where I'm at in New X-Men, somewhere around, let's see. Yeah, somewhere around. I'm still in the top row here, trying to just stick to an issue a day. Really, really enjoying it. Frank Quitely's artwork is a bit of a roller coaster for me. I like his All-Star Superman more as far as his art style. He does very like blunt faces and they can look kind of grotesque. But I've been enjoying the like look for Beast, especially the way he draws Hank as like sort of cat-like. Really, really cool. And I've been thinking that was really, really interesting. What is going on? Oh, thanks for the short comment on the shorts. I appreciate you, sir. So some of this art later is by you. Okay, I'm excited for that then. Pop-Up's inviting me over for breakfast sandwiches. I think it's end this stream real quick. We got Brother John saying good morning. Good to see you, sir. Brother John is hopefully going to be a part of my Ted Lasso shows that I'm going to be doing across the summer and probably into the fall. I don't want to jam pack them all together. I want to take the time and really enjoy it. Apex says Zorn, President Z with lock and key. Grant has a rich imagination. His X-Men run, as wild as it is conservative in comparison to his Doom Patrol and the Invisibles, where he had little restraint. Yeah, obviously, working for the big two, that's going to restrict your creativity, right? So I understand that was probably something that he had to work within certain constraints, but I'm still feeling in the first issue, he's like wiping out Genosha. He just like kills a ton of people. So I feel like he went all in right off the bat. I was really impressed. Making egg sandwiches. Yeah, man. Always good stuff. He could write a good Harley Quinn. I mean, I could feel that for sure. Big Daddy Ross, also somebody that's hopefully going to be involved in my Ted Lasso shows and going to be coming up here soon, hanging out, talking about Ted, all things Ted. George Perez's version of the Beast. I respect that. Yeah, I can get that. Yeah, I think this is definitely, I agree. Sorry, Bobby, I took your comment down. No, sorry, where was it? Yeah, I agree, Bobby. This is obviously the version of Beast we all know. I'm just enjoying Frank Quitely's take. I think it's kind of a fun, different look, and it still works for me. It's still, I don't have any issue with the cat appearance, and I think it's kind of fun to see something different. But no problems with it. What is up, Shop? That, you know what that means? Shop's here, so I gotta scroll up and find my overlay. Where's he at? Where's my guy? There it is. John Doom. John Doom is here. What is going on, Shop? If you guys don't know, over on Instagram, Shop has created the Shopverse. You might see several YouTubers who've changed their icon to these fun iterations of comic book characters. And this is me as Dr. Doom. This is John Doom, made by the one and only Shop for Comics. And I appreciate you, sir, for doing that because it's fantastic. I love it. It's so good. So good. Absolutely one of my favorites. So thank you for doing that. But that's the main thing that I've been reading, and you will continue to see shorts and reels kind of capturing different moments and the things that I cotton to or notice as I'm going along that I think are, wow, that's really interesting. I didn't realize that this happened in Morrison's run or whatever. So yeah, been enjoying that. I want to share a couple of Daredevil books I've been reading. So I've been reading Daredevil and Echo. Uh, I will say the artwork inside is a little inconsistent. I do love, of course, anything David Mack. So when I saw he had a David Mack cover going for Echo, yes, I got that for sure. This has been very entertaining. 2 issues of a mini series looking at the connections between Echo and Daredevil across generations, even in New York, and looking back at Murdoch's ancestors and her ancestors, and a demon monster that's getting released in New York City. So kind of a cool read. Definitely seems to stand separate from the continuity of any of the other Daredevil books, any other appearances for Echo or any of that. But in that way, I'm still able to really get into it as a standalone. So that was a fun read. But better than that, even the penultimate or second to last issue here of Chip Zdarsky and David Chicchetto's Daredevil run. This was this might be my favorite one they've done in the last year, the last 13 issues that they've put out. I thought this was fantastic, and I was impressed by how they summarized a lot of what's been going on across Daredevil and Punisher. If those who don't know, those 2 books have kind of intertwined, and both Daredevil and Punisher seem to have been deluded by organizations kind of manipulating them. And in the end, it's caused a lot of strife, a lot of death, a lot of tragedy. And Daredevil's trying to make up for it, make amends for it as only he can. Punisher was sort of exiled to Weird World at the end of his run. So he's on a journey of his own, separate from the Marvel Universe. And Daredevil is in the afterlife. He is dealing with the monsters, the beast below all, who is kind of controlling and manipulating, kind of like Immortal Hulk with dealing with the one below all down in the underworld. So very heavy stuff, but really cool. Really, really great. And I've been really enjoying the whole thing since the very beginning of Zdarsky's run. But I have felt that the last 13 issues weren't as great as the first, whatever it was, 36. This issue definitely sparked my excitement for the final issue coming next month. So if you're a Daredevil fan, I'm sure you're reading up on this. I know my guy Rod is reading this for sure. He is a big fan. Let's see here. Let's see. More like Dr. Nice. I want to watch. Thank you for mentioning this, Terry. I've seen the movie that Matthew McConaughey made, The Lincoln Lawyer. Same character, same story, same novels that it's based on. My dad loves the Lincoln Lawyer books as well, and I've read one of them, the very first one, because it intertwines with the whole Bosch universe, because it's the same writer for all of those, and that's a great show on Amazon. I've watched all of the Bosch TV cop drama series. Great show. But I have not tried the Lincoln Lawyer show, but I'm hearing great things. I even saw you posted on it on Instagram. So it's on my list. And at the end of the show, I'm going to get to what I've been watching lately, because there's a show on Hulu that my brother got me to watch called The Bear that I want to talk about at the end, because that show, The Bear, is really good. And my wife and I binged, I think, 4 or 5 of them last night. Really great. Ryan says, has anyone read or heard how Captain Marvel Dark Tempest issue 1 is? No, I have not. I'd be curious to hear that. My man Apex is saying, I've assigned David Mack Adventures on the Vital Man 3 early Mack ink work. That is awesome. And I've only had David Mack sign a couple of things. I had him sign one of his hardcovers of the Echo series he did for Daredevil, and I bought it from his booth at Comic-Con, and he did a remark and signed inside of it for me. Really, really nice. And then I also bought this Wonder Woman print, and he signed that as well. I can kind of move my camera up. You can kind of see the signatures way down there at the bottom in red. But that was one of my favorite covers he's ever done. Is that Wonder Woman, and it's just yeah. I couldn't say no. The colors, the way it's almost metallic gold. Yeah. So that was one of the big purchases for me at Comic-Con was that. And then above it is the Nightwing poster that I got, the Bruno Redondo and Tom Taylor. So I got that. They both signed that print as well. But love it. Absolutely. David Mack is one of the best. Absolutely amazing. CGC Song Too Crazy. What is going on? Good to see you, sir. Happy Saturday. Let's see. Gore says Daredevil has been disappointing. I've only been buying it because I like the character and tragic history. Don't have high expectations for a new team. I would say read 13. I almost don't feel like you need to have read any of the stuff that went before it because they summarize it right at the beginning. I just think you'd be interested in some of the Dante's Inferno-esque kind of elements going on in that issue. And I'm curious what it'll mean playing out in the next one. So for me, it was the issue from this last 13 that really just shook me up and blew me away. I was really impressed. Sarah says she watched season 1 of The Lincoln Lawyer and gave it a thumbs up. There you go. There you go. And it's on my list for sure. No, nobody's talking about Wonder Woman. Nobody. Nope. Did not happen. Did not happen. Let's get over to some DC. I read Night Terrors Poison Ivy 1. The main reason I grabbed this issue 1 of 2 is because the main Poison Ivy series is taking a break so that they can do a 2-issue connective piece to the big event that they're doing at DC this next couple months. But I love everything Poison Ivy. I love this cover and the concept of Ivy being stuck in a 50s housewife world that she would, of course, loathe, and seeing how that impacts her psychologically. The cover, so good. In fact, there's 2 or 3 variants that capitalize on this concept of her being stuck in an off-kilter 50s housewife existence. One of them is that classic carving the turkey at Thanksgiving long table with her and Harley. Really great. But I just liked this one a little bit more. It has that kind of fun art style of the 50s that, like, print ads and stuff. So I just thought this was really fun cover. The story was very interesting. G. Willow Wilson, very talented. And I thought this was a decent tie-in that didn't need the main story. It just could be read independently. And that was one of the benefits of it. So I'm going to definitely get the second issue, but I'm on Poison Ivy. I'm on it to the end. Like or however long G. Willow Wilson is going to do it, I will be reading it and enjoying it. So that's on my list for certain. Stopped reading current Marvel except Daredevil. And I'm kind of the same Apex, but I'm including anything like Storm, X-Men Periphery. I'm not reading all the X titles anymore. There's a few that I read digitally, but most of the ones I read are just the ones that keep me in the game to kind of know what's going on with Storm and some of my other favorite X characters. But that's it. Yeah. I haven't read Spider-Man in 5 years. I used to love reading Spider-Man. Avengers, I haven't read that in probably 15 years. I love the Avengers. I just haven't been passionate about the creative teams that have been doing it. When I see a good creative team coming in, like I just grabbed the new Immortal Hulk, Nick Klein and Philip Kennedy Johnson, the other Johnson. I definitely wanted to check that out because I like those creators. So it's really just more about like the creative teams that are there. And I just think they're not as strong as in indie comics these days. So, yeah. Well, so Chris, we were just talking about new X-Men here. I got the omnibus out and we were chatting about it. Chris is definitely a fan of new X-Men and has been a great resource in helping me understand things and make sure that I'm not getting lost in the weeds a little bit. What is up, Kyle? He says, I still haven't figured out how to read. We'll help you, buddy. We're here for you. We're here. We'll take good care of you, my man. Everyone is a crybaby. I mean, okay. I mean, stop calling me names. We got Legion of Comics. What is going on, Mark? Good to see you, sir. We are Legion. This guy's crushing it, man. Videos, live streams. I mean, it's all happening. It's all deadly. I was just talking about my main DC book this week was the Poison Ivy Night Terrors. I haven't decided if I'm going to get the main series or just read the Night Terrors books digitally, just so that I can, keep track of the main arc and the main story. But I'm definitely going to keep reading things like Titans and Nightwing and Poison Ivy that are periphery to the Night Terrors story. This is true. I mean, that's just facts, straight facts. And this is my official X-Men Sherpa. Well, you're my official DC Sherpa, so we're helping each other out. I appreciate you, man. That by Ivy book was awful. I didn't think so. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the Ivy book. I don't know that I love the concept of this event, but I liked seeing Ivy brainwashed, forced into this existence that is definitely not for her. I don't care for is it Janet from HR? I don't know why she's given such a prominent part in this. It's possible that G. Willow Wilson has some bigger play for that character going forward, but whatever. Don't get Mark started on Ivy Night Terrors. All right. I'm sorry. I opened a box. The last 3 books I've read are all X related. Of course, I had to get this Mark Brooks variant. Great, gorgeous, amazing. This is a very interesting book looking at is it a schism between Scott and Jean? It does seem like maybe she's going in a different direction than he's heading right now. So I'm very curious what this could mean for their relationship. Some interesting stuff going on there. Glad to have it. Let's see here. Let's see. Every other title, they know it's a nightmare. For me, I think it's just part 1 of 2 issues, and clearly she's going to reject the nightmare in the second issue. So I'm not really worried about that. For me, it was trying to understand what her motivation might be for staying. And clearly it's Harley and making Harley happy, right? Even though she's kind of sacrificing herself for her partner, which I think is toxic and dangerous, right? Let's see here. Fall of X is coming. So I've got the other 2 books I got here, Chet, are around this concept of before the fall. And I've been reading all of these one-shots because I want to understand what they're setting up, because it sounds like they're, I don't know if ending the Krakoan era is the way to say it, but it does sound like they're having a big shakeup coming to this Krakoan era. They're calling it the Fall of X. So this one I think is a great read. This is, if you're a Mr. Sinister fan, if you enjoyed the crossover event that they did in the Sinister War, I thought this is a great piece to understanding these characters. It's basically the origin for the 4 versions of Mr. Sinister we've got these days. Very interesting. I'm a big Apocalypse fan. Here he is holding the Green Lantern ring. I'm a big Apocalypse fan. I think the character is really great. And I've been sad that since X of Swords, he's been missing from action. But he's back here in this issue. I don't think we're going to see him in person again for a little while. But they are setting up his wife, Genesis, and what she's going to do in our universe. So I think that's going to be big going forward. Do you need to read these? Probably not. I don't think anybody would be lost in the X universe if they didn't read these. You'll be lost for other reasons, but not for skipping these. I read them just because I really wanted to keep up and kind of see what was going on with the Sinisters and Apocalypse. Sorry, I got a little sneezy nose going on here. So those are the X books I've read this last week. I think the Apocalypse one was last week, but I got around. I tend to read my X books in little clumps. So once I had 3, I was like, okay, I'll just do all of them together and get myself all caught up. Let's see. Emma already said stay away from Scott. I mean, but do we really want to listen to Emma Frost on anything? That's not a good call. Chet says he read those all yesterday. Okay, yeah. So I finished the 3 of them yesterday, but I read the other 2, I think, on Thursday night. CGC is saying, haven't been following all the new X. So I'd be just as, yeah, I mean, it's a lot. It is a lot. And I think it's the flaw of the Krakoan era was how many books they put out. I think it was just too many. And I think it would have been better pared down and more tightly constructed. But I mean, I'm sure editorial got involved in some of that, and Hickman may have just gotten too big for his britches. I don't know. Who knows? Chet says Genesis is running the show. She is definitely, and I think she's an interesting character that was obviously created in this era, and I think could go a long ways. So I'm excited to see kind of where she ends up, you know. Oh, Sarah dropping us $10 super chat saying, gotta head out. Nice to see everyone instead of Saturday morning bagel fun. Here's a little something to keep the cat in its treats. Sarah, you are too kind, my friend. And I got some goodies for you. Let's see what I can play. How about this is a Charlie with a golden retriever. Let's do that one. It's always a favorite. There you go. And let's do one more. How about Kate hula dancing? We'll do a little Kate hula dance. So tiny. So tiny. They were so tiny. So long ago. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate you. Have a great Saturday. Yes. And Kitty Cat's running around here somewhere. She did not invade this stream, but she has been invading pretty regularly. So just watch out. Let's see. Seems like Crashdown is DOA. I don't know, Toby. It sounds like they're pushing the launch back because they got more issues that they're going to be allowed to publish. So they want to make sure they keep them consecutive and don't like take breaks. So I think that what they're doing is actually going to push back and give us more. So fingers crossed that's happening. Kyle says on the indie front, Void Rivals and World Tree seem overhyped. So I did not read either one, although I heard World Tree had an interesting concept that didn't really pull out all the stops like they should. Void Rivals is the one I just learned about. It's the what's his name? Kirkman. Yeah, it's Robert Kirkman's Transformers G.I. Joe connected universe thing. Yeah, it doesn't mean bad. It just means there's a lot of hype around it, right? My man Big Will in the chat. Big Will is somebody that I buy a lot of comics from. So if you guys aren't following Will on Instagram, that's definitely somebody that he's got good deals. He's got lots of books. He's always posting stuff. So, and he ships his books really well. So if you want a community member that you want to buy comics from rather than eBay, check out Big Will Comics on Instagram. And if you can't find him, I'll hook you up with the link. So definitely do that. What's going on, Will? Hope you're having a good Saturday. So that's it for stuff I've been reading and unboxings that I have. Last on the list, I got a few minutes left here. I wanted to talk about stuff I've been watching. Obviously, I'm prepping a Ted Lasso show that might even launch on Monday. I'm trying to talk my man Whitewell Comics and Coach Vic into joining me Monday night, maybe for our kickoff to the Ted Lasso discussion series I want to be doing. So it's possible that Monday night I will be doing the first of the Ted Lasso talks, my TED Talks, if you will. It's going to be just friends getting together to talk about various themes from the show. And the first one is going to be more sport centric. We're going to talk a little bit about the pursuit of excellence and the challenges of doing your best and the sacrifices in being the best that usually have to take place. Things that are very relatable to life, business, and family, but obviously through the lens of Ted Lasso, get focused on sports in a big way. So hopefully that happens Monday night with those two awesome guys. We're not going to do episode by episode. I learned through doing the Lost live streams with this guy that episode by episode is not necessarily the best way to do these kind of things, and that I think what's better is to talk about themes and to pick a theme and have a couple of friends on to just talk about that theme and how it connects to the various characters and the episodes and the seasons. And so we'll be talking about the pursuit of excellence in our first show. Then I've got other ones set up for things like mental health, things like parents and kids. So there'll be several thematic based live streams with different community members scattered across the next few months. What is up, Damien? Good to see you. Good morning. I hope your Saturday is off to a good start, sir. Big Will did not pay for this ad. I paid for the ad, right? I bought the books. He just shipped them well enough that I wanted to say it. Don't be laughing at Lost on my end. Hey, Dad, this is Charlie. Can you play the clip where Kate whacks me in the face? I mean, how do you say no to that? Here we go. Let it go, Charlie.
No, well, now they know. Let it go, let it go. Can't hold that game on. The cold never bothered me anyway.
Wham! Whammy! Right in the face. Knocked her down. Crushing it. TK, what is going on, my man? I hope you're playing some video games later, doing some good stuff, having a happy Saturday, my good sir. Let's see. So that's what's coming up for Ted Lasso on my channel. So just keep an eye out for those live streams. They'll usually be in that 6 or 7 Pacific. Chris, 6 or 7 Pacific, 9 or 10 Eastern, and go for about an hour. And we'll scatter them across the summer whenever my friends are available. I don't remember when TK he doesn't like comics. He likes Batman. That I know. The other thing I want to talk about is this Hulu show. So my brother and I think my dad even got me into this show called The Bear, like the animal. And it centers on a struggling sandwich restaurant in downtown Chicago. And Chicago Schultz even mentioned, hey, how did you time this? I don't even know how this is possible, Schultz, but it happened. So I'm talking about The Bear. And the show focuses on the difficulties in running a small business, small restaurant, and making food that is of a certain quality, and running a kitchen full of people with big ideas and passions. And it's a wonderful workplace comedy drama, and really well acted, really well produced. And I've just been blown away by it. We've already binge watched, I think, 5 episodes. They're only 30 minutes each. They're Ted Lasso length. And it's on Hulu. So if you've got Hulu, it's on FX. If you have cable and you have the channel FX, you might have access to it there as well, because it's one of their properties. But it's been really good. If you like food, if you're a foodie, I think you'd get into it. There's a lot of new actors who you might not recognize, but then there's great cameos from people like Oliver Platt. So the show is focused in on the life of a chef and being in a kitchen and having a crew of people working under just like intense stress and hard, timelines of getting the food out, getting it quality, getting it ready, and dealing with all the things that go along with that. The backstory has to do with the previous owner of the restaurant passing away, and they'll get into the circumstances for that. And his brother taking over. And the brother was working at a very high-end fancy restaurant, and now he's taken over this sandwich shop, like a street sandwich kind of shop. And yet he has all this knowledge and all these skills and all these things, but he's trying to work within the constraints of, fast food in a sense. Really interesting, great characters, great actors. And yeah, you're just absorbed into it if you haven't heard of it. Let's see. I don't do Mountain Time or Central. Those are, for me, those are like the Wizard of Oz. I don't look behind the curtain on those. Let's see here. Any inside baseball? Do you have a comic book Kickstarter in the works? I do not, Toby. I do have friends that I try to write things with. We've not had anything ever like ready to be produced at any point, but I'm always tinkering and trying to write things, right? 6-year-old reads Saga. Okay, very excited for that. Very excited for that. It is a love letter to Chicago. The casting, the writing, the music. I would hope they get somebody like John Cusack to come on. He is a Chicago legend in a lot of ways, and I think would be perfect for their comedy drama meld, because it does remind me of like High Fidelity and the drama comedy blend and the workplace, environment so perfectly captured. So yeah, really great. So the main actor was from Shameless. That's why I didn't know who he was, because I've never seen Shameless, but I know what it's about and I know the cast, but I had not recognized the main character. He is phenomenal. Absolutely a phenomenal performance that he's giving in just the first few episodes that I've seen of The Bear. Shameless is a Chicago-based show there. So see, yeah. So I knew the concept, but I've never had Showtime, so I've never been able to kind of watch Shameless. But the cast looks phenomenal from what I can see. Chaos and Comics, that's the right age for that book. Hilarious. High Fidelity reboot is better than the original. No, just kidding. So they did a TV series, right, of High Fidelity with like a gender swap going on somewhere. I haven't watched it, but I do remember vaguely something about that. So I think it actually did happen. So there is something going on there. But I love the novel, because the novel High Fidelity takes place in London and has a very different aesthetic vibe. But I think Cusack and his writing producing team did a great job of adapting it to Chicago and the life of a record store owner in the city there. Beautifully done. So I'd be curious to see if they could adapt it again in a new form as well. Nick Hornby is one of my favorite writers. I think Nick Hornby is he's funny. He's emotionally like powerful. I've read, I think 4 or 5 of his books and enjoyed all of them. I think Nick Hornby is just fantastic. If you can get around the London aesthetics and the London language, I think you'd get into it a bunch. I think his books are very clever. He does look like he does look like Gene Wilder's son. I don't know if that's a compliment, but I do get it. I do get it for sure. Should I read Saga? Everyone talks about it and has for years. Gore is going to tell you, run away from it. Don't even touch it. I would say it's a space opera epic, and you got to be in for the long haul. I think it's a very interesting universe. I'm definitely like 3-4 trades behind. So I'm not all the way caught up, but I'm in the middle on it, right? There's people that love it. Comic Man Andy, it's his favorite independent comic. The other end of the spectrum, you got Gore Vidal, who says it's just cheap. He doesn't feel like it has deeper value beyond the simplicity of the concept. So yeah, definitely some perspectives on that for sure. Let's see, I'm missing some stuff here. High Fidelity is one of Jack Black's first films. It is, and he's great in it. He's hilarious as one of the record shop employees. Frog is Dr. Venkman saying they should reboot all of Cusack's movies. Same with Hughes' movies. We can make them better. Saga is an acquired taste. That's a good way to say it. Bobby saying, I got to go do some running. Love you guys. Peace out, Bobby. Have a great day, my man. Gore says, I didn't know the novel took place in London. Is the music different? The references are like some of the specific genres and bands and singers and songwriters a little different. For me, it's just I know that Hornby's universes are always England centric, right? But I've seen them adapted. They adapted, what was it? Fever Pitch became instead of about a football team that couldn't win, it was about the Boston Red Sox, and it worked as an adaptation. That was a Drew Barrymore movie. I think Jimmy Fallon. You can adapt his stuff, I think, really well, but I think it takes a good team to do it, and I think Cusack is the master at really capturing some of that stuff, and he did. Yeah, it's one of my favorite comedies. I think rom-coms, if you want to even call it that, but it's bigger than that, deeper than that. Really great. That is a great way to say it. That's a great way to say it. Very politically even keeled there. I'm going to go to CGC, so that's perfect timing. I just wanted to recommend The Bear. I'm probably going to go out there and watch a few more episodes today since I don't have kids to take care of today. But I recommend if you haven't heard of it or hadn't taken the time, give it a shot. You might really enjoy it. Oh, there's an American and a British version. I did not know that, Schultze. There you go. See? Look at this. Taking great British products and turning them into Chicago products, right? There you go. I'm just leaving, Robert Galvin. Thank you for coming by and hitting that like button. I appreciate you, sir. I'm going to head out of here. I hope everyone has a great Saturday. I got lots of goodies to enjoy here, and I hope everyone just really takes good care of each other. So see you guys all again here soon. And yeah, peace, gang.